economic references in Ramayana. There is a description of Ayodhya city and its prosperity. Ayodhya city was built by Maharaj Manu on the bank of river Saryu and further developed by Maharaj Dasrath. Saryu is the only river originating directly from the Kailas Mansur lake. Bal Kanda, Canto 5, Sloka number 5. Koshlo Nam Mudita Spito Janpado Mahan Nivist Saryu Tire Prabhut Dhanya Dhanyavan. Means there is a great province known by the name of Koshla, extending along the bank of river Saryu. Ayodhya is full of abundant riches and prosperity. It is contented city. Sloka number 7. Ayata dascha dvecha yoznani mahapuri Trimati Trini Vistirna Suvibhakta Mahapatha. Means Ayodhya, the great and glorious city. It is 12 yojna, means 96 mile long, and 3 yojna means 24 mile wide, with its well aligned roads. Sloka number 8. Rajmargen Mahata Suvibhaktena Sobhita. Ayodhya is graced with a beautifully ramified extensive highway, which is daily sprinkled with water. In a modern time, it looked like Los Angeles, California road. Sloka number 10. Kapat Toranvati Suvibhaktantar Apanam. Ayodhya has arched gateway with a beautifully door, is provided with a well laid out market and are full of all classes of craftsmen. It is equipped with all sorts of war, weapon and catapults. Sloka number 11. Ucha Atal Dhwajavati Satagni Satsankulam. Ayodhya is prosperous and possesses the matchless splendor. It is a mark with all tall multi-story building and flags. It is also equipped and defended with the numberless long-range artillery guns. Sloka number 15. Ayodhya is adorned with a multi-story big mansion built of stone. It looks like Indra Amravati city. Sloka number 17. Ayodhya is built on level ground, full with faultless design, houses and densely populated, abound in riches and sugarcane cultivation. Ayodhya Kand, Canto 36. When Bhagwan Ram is proceeding to Banvas forest, Maharaja Dasrath is instructed his officials that along with the Bhagwan Ram, his treasury and granary should accompany him. Dhanya kosascha yah kaschid, dhanya kosascha mamaka. Let's that my treasury and granary both accompany Bhagwan Ram, going to dwell in inhabited forest. Ayodhya Kand, Canto 50. Bhagwan Ram is leaving Ayodhya for the Banvas and he is crossing the limit of Kosla province. There is a description of prosperity of Kosla province in the sloka number 8, 9, 10. Sri Rama crossed in his chariot the blessed and lovely territory of Kosla. Kosla was full of riches and prosperity. The residents of Kosla were charitable. There was no fear from any quarter. Law and order was smoothly managed. It was full of temples and yagsala. The Kosla province was rich in garden, ponds full of water, mango groups and cowherds. Kosla is densely populated. Its citizens are well fed and contented, and Veda chanting is heard everywhere. Ayodhya Kand, Canto 80. King Bharat refused to accept his coronation on Ayodhya. Bharata is going in search of Bhagwan Ram along with his ministers, army, road and camp building, etc. In this chapter, there is a mention of highway from Ayodhya up to the bank of Gangaji, and also proper built camping places on way to the Chitrakuta. अथ भूमि प्रदेशज्ञा सूत्र कर्म विशारदा स्वकर्माभिरता सूरा खनका यंत्रकास्तथा सूपकारा सुधाकरा वंश चर्म कृतस्तथा समर्था एच द्रष्टारा पुरतश्च प्रतिस्थिरे. Means in the Bharata marching caravan or army, they are main expert in divining the presence of subterranean water in a given plot of land. Those adept in designing buildings, pavilion, etc. Architects, worksmen, carpenter, and expert in digging wells and tunnel, etc. Mechanics contriving devices for crossing a stream and river, etc. Gallant men guarding the highway, capable guides set forth in advance. You can see here everything is going with Bharata. So there is in a sloka 10 mention worksmen bridge the stream and likewise road were properly constructed. Sloka number 13 and 14, the highway carved out for many army to pass along was paved with the concrete mixed with the lime. There is a hard paved road, which is now modern day called concrete road. Road was decorated, looks like more charming, like a pathway of God. Ayodhya Kanda, Canto 100. Bhagavan Ram is teaching about politics to the Bharata after meeting at Chitrakuta. So there is a description of the conversation in that Bhagavan Ram is teaching to the Bharata. Rama told to Bharata, I hope you prefer one learned man than to thousands of fools. A learned man is great help in the financial crisis. Sloka number 32. Bhagavan Ram asked Bharata, hope you disperse the monthly salary and provision to the soldier in due opportune time in a suitable manner and do not delay their payment. Sloka 45 to 46. Rama said to Bharata, I hope in a widely spread and densely populated city of Ayodhya and also in the province of Kosla, you have made sheds and arrangement for the distribution of drinking water to the passerby. Your agriculture should not be dependent on the rain water. You should have constructed big water tank for the irrigation. These are the things thousands of years ago mentioned. When we were growing up in Bharat, that time it was written that the agriculture in Bharat is dependent on the rain. And therefore we don't have enough agriculture produce. But when we study the history, you find that in an ancient time on the 6% land, water tanks were constructed through which we were able to irrigate 86% cultivated land. Reflecting this, Bharata is asking, even those days, your agriculture, Bhagavan Ram is asking to Bharata, your agriculture should not be dependent on the rain. So you need to construct a big water tank. Sloka 47. Rama said to Bharata, I hope the business class are satisfied with you and are respected by you. Those states who are involved with the trade, commerce and agriculture are prosperous and citizens are satisfied. So here again, very important point Bhagavan Ram is mentioning. For the prosperity, trade and commerce is very important. And tradesmen, businessmen should be respected. And financial policy of the state should be conducive to the trade and commerce. Sloka number 53. Rama said to Bharata, Ayaste pipula kaschid alpataro vyaya Rama said to Bharata, expenditure of your province should be lesser than the income. I also hope wealth of your treasury is not going in the hand of undeserving and corrupt men. In Aranyakanda, Canto 6, Rishi and Muri are talking to the Bhagavan Ram during the Banvas, and they are talking about the taxation. And here Rishi mentions estates should not take taxes more than 16% from the income. With that taxes, state is responsible for the protection of the citizen. Bali Sat Bhagam, Yo Haret Bali Sat Bhagam. Bali Sat Bhagam is mentioned. Can you imagine, even those days taxes was reasonable. Now, present time taxes are sometime more. And during the socialistic model of our economy, during the several previous government, before the liberalization, we have higher taxes. I don't want to go into detail. Here is not the subject. But when you have a more higher taxes, businessman will leave the state. Therefore, your taxes should be reasonable. Therefore, Bhagavan Ram is mentioning taxation should not be more than 60%. 1/6. Yuddha Kanda, Canto 23. There is a description about the construction of Ram Setu Bridge. Sloka number 56-57. Here it is mentioned that Sal, Aswakarna, Dhava, Bambu, Kudja, Arjuna, Palmira, Tilaka, Tinisa, Bilwa, Saptaparna, Karnikara, Mango, Asoka, Coconut, Bibhitika, Karira, Bakula, and neem trees used for the construction of Ram Setu Bridge. Monkeys were breaking big rocks and transporting through means of mechanical instrument and devices. There is a Parvatanscha Samutpata Yantri Parivahanticha mentioned in the Valmiki Ramayana. Means through the means of mechanical instrument and devices they were transporting the rocks. Some monkey drew up long string in order to keep the rocks in a straight line for the construction of extensive bridge. Dandani pragrihante bichivanti tathapare. Means some monkey seized hold of a staff for measuring the length and breadth of the bridge, while other collected the material for the bridge construction. Yuddha Kanda, Canto 83. Hanuman and other Vanra were fighting with the Indrajit, the son of Ravana. Indrajit created an illusion, and in that illusion he killed Mata Sita. Hanuman, not realizing it is an illusion, he informed Bhagavan Ram about killing of Mata Sita. Hearing this painful and unfortunate news, Bhagavan Ram became insensible through grief. Then Lakshmana is consoling Bhagavan Ram. Lakshmana said important words about the economy of the wealth, which is very important, and every Hindu or every Bharatiya should know this, Not only knowing, we should live in the practical life. Arthebhyo pravriddhebhyo samvritebhyas tatastata kriya sarva pravartante parvatebhya ivapaga. As the stream flow from mountain, all undertaking is performed from the riches and the prosperity. Means if you don't have a prosperity, you cannot perform all your activity. You cannot complete all your activity, material as well as social. And Arthena hi bhimuktasya purushasya alpachetasa vichidnante kriya sarva grisme kusirato yatha. Means a poor man without wealth loses his intelligence. All the undertaking forsaken without wealth. This is very important, Even you are very intelligent, sometimes you don't have wealth, you loses your intelligence, sometimes you lose your balance also. And if you have plan, but you don't have a wealth, sorry. You have plan, but you don't have a wealth, so all your undertaken is forsaken without wealth. Here is very important sloka. Yas artha tasya mitrani, yas artha tasya bandhava, yas artha sa puman loka, yas artha sa cha pandita. The person who have riches and prosperity, friends and kinsfolk surrounds and stand by him. In whom riches find their place, alone is laden and superior. Very important. If you don't have a wealth, your friends will not stand by you. Sometimes a family member will also leave you. If you have prosperity, you have riches, you have wealth, everybody will surround you, will respect you. So this is again very important sloka, so I am repeating. Yas artha tasya mitrani, yas artha tasya bandhava, yas artha sa puman loka, yas artha sa cha pandita. And this is a sloka number 35 in a Yuddha Kanda, Canto 83. And 36 sloka, yas artha sa cha vikranto, yas artha sa cha buddhiman, yas artha sa mahabhago, yas artha sa gunadhika. The person who is rich and prosperous, he is alone a gallant, intelligent, respectable and superior. Again, very important. And in another sloka, in 38th sloka, yas artha dharma kamarth, yas artha dharma kamarth tasya sarva pradakshina, means the person who is rich and prosperous accomplishes dharma and kama. Therefore, in Kautilya Arthashastra mention, Sukhasya mulam dharma, dharmasya mulam artha, arthasya mulam rajyam. Is how, again in the 39th sloka, delight, harsa, kamascha, darpascha, dharma, krodha, samadama, arthad etani sarvani pravartante naradhipa. Means delight, pleasure, pride, virtue, anger and control of the mind and the senses. All these are possible when someone has wealth. So these are the economic references in Ramayana. I have collected information, selected passages from the Ramayana and Sloka. I just explained to you. Hari Om, Namaste.